Hey, good morning everyone. Happy Saturday. I was going to walk you through making an espresso and a couple of the tools that I use to make a quality cup of coffee. And so first I've got my Rocket R58 espresso machine and my Malconic E65 grind by weight, grind by sink grinder. And so with everything, having quality equipment helps with making a quality product. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you that, let me grab a towel, that you do want to make sure that you have a dry basket. This is called a portafilter, and this is your portafilter head, and this is your portafilter basket. And so you want to make sure you have a dry basket. This is called a naked portafilter because it does not have the traditional, and I'll show you, it doesn't have the traditional spouts at the end like this one does. But I like to use a naked basket like this because then I can watch the espresso a little bit better when I'm making it. And so first and foremost, you do have to have coffee inside of your grinder. I am using Stumptown beans, and so also obviously you do want to make sure that you're using quality coffee too, because that's what you're going to end up tasting. So I'm going to put my grinder, my portafilter basket into my grinder. The way that I have this set up is I have it set up to yield 20 grams of coffee into this basket. And so now I have the grinds into the basket, and I am going to show you some of the other tools that I have here. Right after you get your coffee ground, this is called a distribution tool, and you can use it to make sure that the coffee is not clumped up, but it's also it's used to make sure that you're distributing it fairly evenly across the portafilter basket. And so like I have here, and then this is a leveler. You don't have to use these things. They're not a must, but they do help. And so now I have a fairly level basket, which is hopefully the espresso inside the portafilter basket is distributed across it fairly evenly. And then down here I've got something that's called a puck press, and what that's doing is that's going to tamp my my espresso into my portafilter basket. Now I could use something like this that is used to tamp, and that's a traditional tamper. Actually, that's a spring-loaded one. This one would be closer to something that's called more like a traditional tamper. And but what I've got here is called a puck press, and that ensures that it is that it's the same always. Okay, and so when you're talking about espresso, the more variables that you can get rid of, the better. And so at this point, now I'm ready to put my espresso into the espresso machine. And what I hope to do at this point is yield somewhere around 40 grams of coffee into my coffee cup. And so what I have here is a scale, and it's going to measure how much liquid comes into the coffee cup. And what I want, the desired outcome, is that somewhere in the 25 to 30 second range, I'm yielding roughly 40 grams of coffee. So we're going to go ahead and give that a go, and I'll show it to you. So right now I'm going to hit start on the timer, and we are going to see what happens as far as the yield of espresso. Now, if the espresso is evenly put into the portafilter head, I should get a solid single stream into my coffee cup. And as you can see, I'm already at 25 grams of coffee, 23 seconds. So this is going to be a pretty good pour. So right now, ended up with 42, which is close, in about 28 seconds. And this, if it's made right, should taste really good. Should be a really good cup of espresso. Typically, when I'm making espresso, I'm also planning to make a cappuccino or a latte or something similar to that. And so today, to go with my espresso, I'm going to steam some milk and make it's a small latte or a flat white. Generally, I would do this while the espresso is making, but for the sake of this video, I also want to show you milk texture and how important that is if you're trying to pour latte art or if you are just wanting it to taste better. So adding air to, first thing you gotta do is purge the wine. Make sure you're not putting water in your pitcher. But but adding air to the milk not only adds texture, but it also adds sweetness. And so there's a fine line between, as you can see, the milk is spinning around in the pitcher, and that's what you're looking for. And for me, I'm feeling of the cup at the same time, so I know that it is a desired level of warmth when it starts to become uncomfortable for me to hold, which is about right now. And the hope is that after I get through that, what I have produced in my pitcher is something that looks similar to like marshmallow. And if you get it too thick, then it's just going to pour a big clumpy mess. If it's too thin, then it's not going to make good latte art. And let's see what we did right here. I have a feeling this one's not quite thick enough, that I didn't put quite enough air into it. It's still pouring pretty good. But once you add air to the milk, it also makes the milk a little bit sweeter. And so this actually did pour pretty well. Had a pretty nice rosetta. And so now to figure out if I did everything right, you taste of it, right? So that's the important part, is that everything that you do is to yield a good cup of coffee. I can make it look good, but if it doesn't taste good, then it's all a moot point, right? And then last but not least, you do have to make sure that you're cleaning everything every single time. You have to purge the wine to make sure that the milk that you just put into the wine that you just put into the milk doesn't get milk all up in this and get gunky and nasty. And then also you have to make sure that the portafilter that you dump this basket, and that's where over here I have a built-in portafilter knock box where all of my coffee grounds are going to go down into this trash can down inside here. Now, the goal is for you not to have a nasty portafilter basket when you get through knocking it off. But I always rinse mine off as well, even if it's not too bad. And then also make sure I purge this to get any coffee or espresso that was still up in here. And that's how you clean up. And then you also need to make sure that this goes back in here. Nothing worse than a cold portafilter basket. And then also clean up your milk pitcher. You don't want that to get nasty and gunky inside here too. So you're always cleaning after every single one. Now, this seems like a super long process. In all actuality, it takes me about, 2 minutes probably per cup of coffee in the morning. And so if I'm making several of those, then, it could take some time, but it's worth it to make a quality cup of coffee and it to be something that I'm proud of. And also it's an artwork and a passion. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to now drink my cup of coffee.